Hey guys, what's going on? My name's Aaron. I've been a Transtape user for about 3 years now, and I wanted to show you how I apply my Transtape, and we're gonna start with our nipple covers. So let's go get those started. Okay, so we're gonna make sure we are making our nipple covers. Nipple covers are the way to protect your nipples. You don't wanna have to pull tape off of your nipples. It can be a sensitive area, so that's what these are for. We're gonna make 2 squares out of our Transtape here. A lot of people obviously have different size areolas, so you kind of have to know your body to know, like, you know, how big of a size you'll actually need to make sure you're entirely covered. I'm gonna go about there, so I'm gonna slice this through, and then I've got a big one, so then I'm just gonna cut straight through in the middle like this. So now I've got 2 pieces that work as my nipple covers. Our next step is to peel this back and make sure that we're having a tiny square on the inside, so that way the adhesive is not going straight to our areola. So the best way to do that is to take, some people use toilet paper, you fold it in thirds and then in thirds, but I think the best way, thanks to Bo, I actually learned to take a separate chunk, right? And we're gonna unpeel it. And then this is what we're gonna fold into thirds, or for me, I'm gonna go halves with this one. Instead of using a toilet paper, piece of toilet paper, it actually helps it be less soggy and that paper feeling. So this is gonna be good for one, and it looks like I'm gonna need one more for my other side here. Okay, so now that we've got our pads ready to go, we're gonna want to set them onto our sticky side here. And to start that, we're just gonna take our piece, peel this back, so that way we have a nice adhesive to work with. And then we're gonna set this right in the middle. Usually you want it to be a little bit taller than the actual cover. So you're just gonna set it in there with as much as possible. You wanna touch the stickiness as least as possible, so that way it stays very tight to the skin. Alright, so now we're gonna pull this back. Try to touch it the least amount as possible. Grab your nipple cover and set it right there in the center. Like I said, try to have as much on the edges as possible, so that way it sticks well to your body. Okay, and now they're ready to go. So now that we got our nipple covers ready to go, we're gonna wanna set them over. You're gonna cover your whole areola. You don't wanna have to pull any kind of adhesive off that area. So we're just gonna set it right on top. Zero tension. We're not pulling anything right now. This is just to protect our skin. I got a little wrinkle right there, but that's gonna be all right. And then we're gonna rub to activate the adhesive on these edges real good, so we don't go anywhere on us. So I've got a little bit of a opening here, but that's okay, because as long as it stays on the sides, we're good to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side the same way. So now that we've got our second one ready to go, we're gonna go ahead and pop it right over the top of our areola, cover everything that we can to make it as safe as possible for our skin. And then we're gonna rub to activate the adhesive. That's big. To make sure that we're really keeping that on there. And you're gonna be putting tape over this, so it's really just a little bit of padding over the chest. And now we're gonna get our strips ready. Okay, now that we're done putting our nipple covers on, it's time to get our strips ready. Everybody's sizing is a little bit different. For me, I do about 4, probably 3.5 strips. So these blue lines kind of help you decide based on your body, you know, what size that you need. And so that's super helpful, not to be able to choose your own strip size. So we've got 1 blue line, 2 blue line, 3, and I'm gonna go in a half, probably 2 over. So that's gonna be the right size for me, and I'm gonna need 2 of these, 1 for each side. I bind my chest not as flat as I could, but it's because it makes me more comfortable. So if I wanted to have flatter results, I could achieve that with more strips, or maybe just 1 more strip up top. But for me, this works perfectly, and it makes me comfortable, which is the goal of the entire thing. So now that we've got our strips ready, we're gonna wanna round our edges, because if you leave these with pointy corners, the tension isn't going to be evenly distributed, and that's going to cause problems with your blistering and anything like that that could go bad. So we're definitely going to want to round these edges, just like you would want to like kind of turn the corner and round it off here. It doesn't have to be perfect. There can be a little bit of points there, and that's okay. We're really just wanting just to evenly distribute everything. So these are our edges, and this is kind of what it looks like. You know, you want it to be rounded on the sides. Doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't even have to be symmetrical even. It's really just you want to make sure to evenly distribute that around. So that's kind of how I get my strips ready, and we're going to do the same thing to this one. So we got two here, ready to go. And for me, that's going to be enough strips. Like I said, I could probably make it a little flatter with more, but this is what makes me comfortable, so I'm going to show you that. Okay, so now that we've got our strips ready to go, they're rounded, we've got the size that we need. The next step is we need to make our handles, okay? So these handles, you're going to find probably 4 lines over, and you're just going to pull. See how it just pops like that? We're going to want to just pop it all the way down, and this is going to end up being our handles, because you do not want to put your fingers on the adhesive as least as possible, because you want that to be able to stick to your skin and not your fingers. So here's what we've got these two now, and then we're going to peel this top piece back. That's our first step. Peeling it off, got a nice adhesive there, and then we are going to apply this piece along this line here. So it's going to be kind of half on your chest, 3/4 on your chest, kind of 1/4 towards your stomach even. So that kind of holds it, gives you some security, and holds that tissue in place for if you're running or jogging. It keeps it still, and that's what we want. So to have the most support, we're going to go probably right in line with this nipple cover that I've got here, maybe even a little bit above. And then see how it's just kind of barely hitting my stomach there, and we're gonna rub that and adhesive, make sure that's adhered. So we're gonna activate this this little piece right here. Make sure this is really solid for us there. And then now we're gonna take this back piece, and this is gonna become our second handle. Kind of back this way a little bit, leave about an inch or 2 on the back, and we're gonna kind of fold right here. So now we have this as a handle to be able to get our tissue where we want it, down here towards the side and around. So what we're gonna do is, now that this is pretty solid on there now, this is where we're gonna do some slight tension. I mean, we're not really trying to pull it over as hard as we possibly can. We're just gonna be applying the tissue like this. For me, I'm gonna start from the inside and kind of move this way. And then once I run out of this little strip, that's where the tension stops. No more tension at all. And it's supposed to be a smooth push process across here. You don't want this arm to be super high in the air, because if you do and you put it down, you're gonna have a ton of wrinkles. And we want limited wrinkles. We want the least amount of wrinkles as possible. Alright, so now that we've got this side good to go, like I said before, my application, I could make it flatter if I wanted to. I'm kind of a little chunkier dude, so I've kind of got a little belly, and for me, it just feels more natural to have like kind of larger pecs, is, you know, kind of like what I call them. So if I wanted to make it a more flat appearance, I could use a small size strip or even a smaller piece, and I would apply it up here to go down, but for me, or even up and over, you know, kind of like more like a pec, but for me, this is comfortable for me, for my shirts and stuff, so that's what I roll with. Let's get this other piece on. This is our other piece that we prepared. We're gonna do the same thing as last time and pop this, pop it all the way down so we have our handle. Peel this back. And then this piece is gonna go right in here, right on this side. A lot of people sometimes mention like chest hair as a problem. A lot of times if you use like trimmers or whatever and kind of just like barely around the area where the tape goes, that can be helpful. For me, obviously, like I've used this for 3 years now, so my skin is pretty used to it, and then as my chest hair started to develop throughout my transition, kind of just like slowly adapted. So now that we've got this piece off, we're gonna do the same thing started on the inside. Setting this on my chest here. Sometimes you can go a little bit further down, but for me this is gonna be good. So I've got this part right here, flatten this, rub, kind of give it a little bit, 20-30 seconds, whatever. Just kind of make sure you've got a nice solid bond there, and rubbing is the biggest part, activating that adhesive and getting it stuck to your skin. That's what we want. Okay, so now that I'm feeling pretty good about this side, we're gonna flip to this inside here, and we've got this, this corner to work with. So now that we've kind of peeled it back, we're just peeling it, giving us another little handle to work with all the way back. Slide across the top, and then here's our handle. So we're gonna do the same motion, kind of up and down, like diagonally. That's a big help for me too. So we're gonna go kind of push the tissue. This is where we got a little bit of tension here, a little bit of tension, and then once we get over here, we're not going all the way around the back. We're not, I mean, we're gonna try to hold the tissue the most we can down our side. So we're gonna, now that I've gotten where I'm going here, we're gonna peel this back and apply in a smooth transition. Like I said, keep this arm down so you don't have any wrinkles, the least amount of wrinkles. A nice, easy, smooth back. That's what we're going for there. So we're gonna rub that in. Make sure it's nice and solid. I'm gonna check this mirror here, make sure this works for what we're trying to do. I'm feeling good about that. So it's important when you're getting ready and about to apply your tape that you don't put deodorant on or any kind of lotion before you put on your tape, because that's gonna cause kind of a layer in between your skin and the bond, and we're trying to keep those together. So it's important to make sure you save your deodorant for afterwards, and then it'll be good to go. But if you have that extra on there, it could cause you some issues. So that's just something to keep in mind. Another pro tip to keep in mind, if you do get stuck and you're first putting it on and you're getting a little nervous, maybe it's not looking the way you want to, maybe you're experiencing some discomfort, it's okay to slap some oil on there and pull it off slowly, like we show in our removal videos. It's important to make sure that you're taking care of your skin. If there's discomfort, slight discomfort when you first use it, maybe a little bit of itching is normal as your skin kind of gets used to a foreign substance being on it. But any kind of like burning or pain that you feel in the area that is not normal, definitely discontinue use. Message us in the live chat or use a test strip on the side of your torso there, with about a 2" by 2" strip, to make sure and wait for 24 hours to be able to check and see if you have any allergies. And if you are in the US, we do send those out for free. If you do get stuck, always feel free to check us out in the live chat at transtape.life. We'll be happy to help you with application removal or any questions that you may have. We'll see you guys in the next video.